Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Item Breakdowns, a series where we take a look at each item individually and break down their stats, build path, as well as visuals and animations that you'll expect to see in-game. Today we're taking a look at an old item that got reworked into a brand new mythic called Hextech Rocketbelt. This item delivers considerable damage as well as an item active that gives you an extra dash to help get into range to enemy champions if you're playing an AP mage. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into it. So taking a look at the basic stats for this item, the first thing that we notice is we have 90 ability power, 15 ability haste, which is equal to 13% cooldown reduction, and 350 health. Now, in terms of what these stats give us and the champions that we are going to be building this item on, what we don't have is any AD or critical strike, so this isn't meant for ADCs. We don't have any hard-hitting tank stats, nor do we have any sustain. So, because we have just offensive stats for mages, this is going to be meant specifically for them. Now, we don't have any mana either, so champions like Rumble and Kennen, who use energy or just cooldowns, are going to be looking to build an item like this. So jumping down to the passive portion of this item, it actually has an active, which means it can be used as if it were a spell. And this reads as follows: Unique Supersonic. Dash in the target direction, though not terrain, unleashing an arc of 7 rockets that deal 125 plus 15% of your ability power as magic damage. Then, gain 30% bonus movement speed toward enemy champions for 1.5 seconds with a 40-second cooldown. Supersonic, which is the active, also resets the user's basic attack timer. So this deals considerable burst damage, but with the more mechanical side of things, such as not dashing through terrain, as well as gaining movement speed and resetting the basic attack timer, we're going to address this part in the animations and visuals part of the video. Also, this does have a Mythic passive, so this empowers each of your other legendary items with 5 magic penetration. So following the formula of boots plus 1 Mythic plus 4 legendaries, by late game you'll have an additional 20 flat magic penetration, and as always, because this is a Mythic item, you can only build 1. So now that we've covered the basic stats for this item, I want to get into the build path for Hextech Rocketbelt and get into the appropriate order that you build the epics that build into this mythic item. So the first epic item that we're going to build is Hextech Alternator. This item gives us 40 ability power and has a damaging passive on it called Revved. Damaging a champion deals an additional 50 to 125 based on level magic damage with a 40-second cooldown. Now the reason we rush this item versus the Blasting Wand, which also gives us 40 ability power, is because of the additional damaging passive on it. Now, after we build Hextech Alternator, the next item we build naturally, because it gives us more ability power, is the Blasting Wand. Finally, for the health, we build the Ruby Crystal, and when we have those 3 items completed, plus 900 gold, we will have our Hextech Rocketbelt completed and ready to go. So taking a look at the item active for Rocketbelt itself, as you can see here, when I activate the item, the 7 rockets are fired forward, and they deal damage to all the targets that they hit. Now, one thing that you'll notice is the rockets terminate on the first champion that they deal damage to, and they do not pass through. Now, like I had mentioned, I want to get into the more mechanical side of things back when I was talking about the active component. So the first thing we're going to look at here is its inability to pass through walls. So up here, I go to the top lane alcove and try to dash through the wall that is up there. But because of the way the item works, despite the fact that it is a dash, it will not permit me to go through walls. So the next thing to note is that Hextech Rocketbelt's dash is based off of the location of your mouse cursor and not your previous move command. So here I issue a movement command away from the enemy dummies, but I spam the Rocketbelt passive towards them. So what this means is that even if you're running away from an opponent, if you are moused over them, you will still dash towards them. And lastly, taking a look at what it means when Hextech Rocketbelt will reset your auto attack timer. As you can see here, I have Kennen at level 3 with no extra attack speed, and here he is just attacking at his base attack speed. Now, when I activate Hextech Rocketbelt after I initialize an auto attack, he'll immediately auto attack again after he lands from the rocket belt. So if you're looking to increase the speed of your DPS, take advantage of this little mechanic, because as you can see, as I rocket belt around the enemy dummy, he keeps auto-attacking as long as I time it right, and there's no initial wind-up or wind-down, as I had covered in a previous video about auto-attacking. So when you Rocket Belt in towards an enemy, try to Rocket Belt auto to get an increase in your DPS. Well guys, that's all I have for you today. If you're an AP mage player and you're looking to pick up an item that gives you an extra gap closer as well as an insane amount of extra burst damage, then Hextech Rocketbelt might be an item that you want to look into. As always, guys, don't forget to hit me up on Twitter, as well as for some awesome video game photography. Don't forget to hit me up on Instagram, and for even more content, go ahead and check out my community tab. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see each other again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.